Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Today, I thought I'd talk to you about how I go about lubricating some of my bands. When you use some of the silicone bands, they're very difficult to use. Now, these are beautiful skin tone bands made by Rainbow Loom. I absolutely love the colour. I was helping Fen and Tune with these, and very happy that they are here. We've needed skin tone bands in packets of 600 for the longest time. I have to admit, I had thought they were going to be in the opaque style, which I love the opaque style because they slide so easily on your hook. Now, the problem I have with the silicone bands is that they do not slide very nicely on my hook. So when I wrap them around like this and then I try to slide bands over, they are not easy to work with. See how they sort of curl up on themselves. Now these are actually pre-lubricated, these ones here that I'm using. I've already lubricated them, but they kind of curl up on themselves and they are not the easiest to work with. They don't slide nicely, they sort of curl up. See how they're curling up here on themselves, which you find does not happen with the normal opaque bands. So when you have that issue, and I did speak to Tune about it, one of the things you can do is lubricate your bands. They say that you should lubricate, and this is also to keep your bands fresh and to have them not rot on you if you're using the rubber bands, not the silicone bands. So what they say to do is to lubricate using a silicone-based spray. So I'm thinking, okay, WD-40, let's have a look. Loosens, drives out moisture, frees sticky mechanisms, stops squeaks, removes and protects, loosens rusted parts. All right, let's try WD-40. I wasn't sure if it was a silicone-based spray or not, but I tried it. Don't bother. It absolutely stinks and it doesn't work. It's not a nice feel at all once you've used them. So give that a big miss. So I went back to Home Depot and I found silicone spray lubricant, reduces friction, protects from moisture, helps prevent rust. It was actually one that said it worked with, it protected rubber and whatnot for, yeah, here it is, rubber, vinyl, leather, whatever. It's exactly the same as WD-40. It is not nice to use on your bands at all. I was not impressed. It really was very stinky. So then somebody else said, what about 100% coconut oil? So I got some and I popped a blob, and I should say, when I do this, I will show you, I use a Ziploc bag. So I popped some into my Ziploc bag and I put my bands in there and smushed them all around. It was okay. It was okay, but they absorb into the bands very quickly, and so it was not the best. If I didn't have anything else, I would probably use that, or even some people have suggested Vaseline. I have not tried Vaseline. Somebody suggested baby oil, so I did try that, and I popped in a couple of squirts into my Ziploc bag and emptied my bag of bands in and did that. Now Rainbow Loom very kindly sent me, this is the tiniest little bottle, it has a brush on it, and they very kindly sent me their lubricant that they use, and I believe they are going to have this available in the web store at some stage. I really hope they do, because this stuff is fantastic. This is really good. In light of only having this much left of it though, I have been using baby oil where needed. Now, what I do, I open my packet, I get my Ziploc bag, because people were saying, how long do I leave them soaking? I actually haven't. I hadn't even thought really to soak them. All I do is coat them, really. I don't know if soaking would make a difference. So I try and get the C-clips out. Now, C-clips, you don't have to just throw those away. You can put them in recycle. You can also send them back to Rainbow Loom and they will recycle them for you if you don't use them. See how these are all, they sort of get static. That does not really happen with the opaque ones, because I believe they are lubricated before being put in their bag. So get them all out of your bag. If you do drop some, make sure you pick them up. If you've got animals, you don't want your animals eating them. So I have them in the little Ziploc bag. And then what I do, now, if I was using the Rainbow Loom one, I would actually I open it up and I wipe the brush in. I do that 4 times, okay? With the baby oil, what I was doing, and I will show you, I dribble it down the edge here. And I sort of go squirt, squirt, squirt. Alright, and then I seal the bag and I try and get some of the air out. I seal the bag up and then I smush them all around. This is a technical process, but basically what I'm trying to do is coat every single band with some sort of part of the oil so that it is easier to handle. As I said, this does dry out. It doesn't smell as bad as the WD-40 or the Blaster Silicone spray. That was just really nasty. The other thing I should say is after a while, I mean, if you use this straight away, they're going to be quite slippery, and you'll find that your hands, your fingers are a bit slippery with them, but it does make it easier to use. But it does, I did the same with these, and these are completely dried out of the oil. There is no feel of oil on them at all, to the point where I would have to actually re-oil them to use them in a satisfactory manner. So this is what I do. I just mush them around, and then I open up my packet, have a look at them. You can see they're almost slippery wet. And I might have put a bit too much on. It's trial and error really, but when you feel them, they slide so much nicer now. If I can get those away, see how they just slide on. These I think I did a little bit too much, but as I said, it's trial and error. You see how much you want. It will not make your creation wet by the time you finish with it. It will be, you know, like if you're making an Izzy Busy doll or something like that, your doll will not be nasty and slimy and slippery to touch by the end of it. It sort of all absorbs in and is lovely, just like normal. So these are easier to work with, and then as I said, you can go into the next stitch and it just slides so much easier. See what I'm talking about? There's no, like if I was using, well, this probably won't work now because I've got these lubricated, but these are unlubricated ones, but they're getting lubricated because of the ones previously, and also because I have the oil on my hands. So that's an option for you if you're finding your bands difficult to work with. Just squirt a bit of baby oil or whatever you happen to have lying around. I then convert them and put them into my little tubs to try and keep them from drying out. But there you go. That's what I do. Hope that helps. If you like my videos, give me a big thumbs up and subscribe. Then you'll always find out when I've got new stuff on the channel. Take care, everyone. Bye.